The dream of knighthood. In a small village nestled among endless meadows and dense forests lived a young man named Arthur. His father, a humble blacksmith, taught him everything he knew about metalworking. Yet Arthur was more captivated not by the hammer and anvil, but by tales of noble knights, warriors of justice who protected the kingdom. From childhood, Arthur had one cherished treasure, an old, slightly rusty sword he had found in the woods. Its blade was dull, and its hilt was cracked, but Arthur believed the sword was special. He polished it until it shone, wove legends about it in his imagination, and spoke to it as if it were alive. To him, this sword was destined to guide him to the life of a knight. However, Arthur's daily life was far from heroic. He helped his father in the forge, earned a meager living through hard work, and let his dreams run free only under the night sky. Beneath the stars, clutching his sword, he imagined a future where he would break free from his ordinary world and become the knight he longed to be. A life-changing announcement. One day, a royal messenger arrived in the village. His announcement gathered all the villagers around. The king is organizing a grand tournament. Anyone may participate, even commoners. The victor will earn the title of knight, lands, and, if he wins Princess Eliza's favor, her hand in marriage. The news shook the village. Young men buzzed with excitement, daring to dream of glory. Yet for Arthur, the announcement was more than exciting. It was a calling. This was his chance to prove to everyone, and to himself, that he was worthy. Neighbors and friends scoffed at Arthur when he declared he would compete. "You? With that rusty old sword and no armor?" they laughed. "Don't even think about it. This is not for someone like you." But Arthur clenched his teeth. He resolved to do whatever it took to prepare. Preparing for the tournament, Arthur began training day and night. His only companions were his old sword and unyielding determination. He crafted straw dummies and practiced striking them, spending hours perfecting his moves. He ran through the forests to build endurance and studied everything he could about battle strategies. Seeing his son's unwavering spirit, Arthur's initially skeptical father decided to help. He forged a simple but sturdy set of armor for him. "It's not a knight's gleaming plate," his father said, "but it's better than nothing. As for your sword, who knows, maybe it truly is extraordinary." Arthur cared for his treasured sword with even greater devotion, believing it held the key to his destiny. The journey to the capital. The road to the capital was long and arduous. Arthur traversed dense forests, crossed rivers, and slept under the open sky. Along the way, he encountered other contenders. Wealthy young nobles in gleaming armor with expensive swords, as well as humble commoners like himself hoping for a chance at glory. Knights and nobles mocked Arthur, but he stood firm. He knew that a warrior's true strength came not from his armor but from his heart. The tournament begins. The tournament drew thousands of spectators. The massive grounds near the castle were filled with arenas for duels, archery, and tests of strength. Many contenders entered, but only the best could make it to the final stage. The first challenge was archery. Arthur, who had never held a bow before, barely managed to qualify. Next came trials of strength and agility. Thanks to his forest training, he outperformed many of his opponents. Then came the swordsmanship contest. Here Arthur truly shone. His old sword, though less impressive in appearance than the others, moved with astonishing precision in his hands. He defeated all his opponents, earning admiration even from the knights. The final battle. At last, the day of the final battle arrived. Arthur was to face Baron Gregor, a renowned warrior and the favorite to win the tournament. The crowd was abuzz with anticipation, eager to see a duel between a commoner and a seasoned knight. As the battle began, Gregor attacked with the force of a storm. His blows were heavy and precise, but Arthur, relying on his agility and endurance, dodged and countered. His old sword gleamed in the sunlight, as if drawing strength from fate itself. The fight was long and grueling, but Arthur eventually disarmed Gregor with a perfectly timed strike. The Baron fell to his knees, conceding defeat. The crowd erupted in applause. The king rose from his throne and declared, "Arthur, a commoner, has proven himself worthy of knighthood. Meeting the princess, Arthur was invited to the castle, where he met Princess Eliza. She was not only beautiful but also wise. She was impressed not just by Arthur's victory, but by his humility and determination. "You have not only won," she said, "but shown that even in the most challenging circumstances, one can remain noble. I accept this union, a new life." The king knighted Arthur and granted him lands. Yet Arthur did not forget his village. He returned to build a school where young people could learn not just the art of combat, but also the values of courage and perseverance. His sword became a symbol of hope and faith in oneself. Arthur's story proved that even a commoner could achieve greatness if he believed in his dreams and fought for them. His name became a legend, told in every corner of the kingdom.